With the season finished, surely everyone can just chill out and enjoy a nice long winter break. Maybe unwind a bit. It's only, let's see here, 85 days till testing! That's right, the season may be over and probably once since round 5 when it comes to the top step of the championship, but as one door slams shut, another one opens, welcoming in a couple of months of hope before Red Bull gaps the field by 3 seconds per lap in Bahrain. All jokes aside, the factories don't really shut unless they're mandated to. A day off is a day's less work than your competitors, and nobody is as familiar with this as the team principals. As much as we love to dog on the professional crybabies of the paddock, they're pivotal to the functions of their respective teams, which is why when they speak, the F1 world tends to listen. Following the final race of the season, there was hope, fury, and more than anything else, banter. Want to know why some of the team principals are furious after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? We can't really blame them, with one potentially leaving their team on sour terms. Stick around to the end, because Ferrari may just be up to something. Where else to start off but one of the most divisive men in the paddock, not Christian Horner, but his best friend and sparring partner Toto Wolff. You can stop gripping the table, it's a joke. Following the race, both of his drivers made it clear that they were happy to leave this year and their cars behind, with Russell finishing the season with a podium that hints to a brighter future ahead. But his other driver, Hamilton, left Abu Dhabi seemingly defeated, with slow responses and his head hung low in the media pen. He didn't seem to hold much in the way of optimism, but after such a shocking weekend, which wasn't limited to just an early qualifying exit, but a damaged car and consistent cheerleading by Toto and his engineers over the radio, we can't really blame Hamilton for feeling slightly sullen. Perhaps his despondency and lack of enthusiasm towards next season is just due to the sheer weight of feeling let down for such an extended period of time, with him now experiencing back-to-back seasons without a win for the first time in his career. Well, it seems that Toto Wolff didn't get the reminder to be in a depressive state following the checkered flag at the season finale, opting instead for a brighter look at the future, with the Austrian having this to say. I mean, we have a gap to the leaders, but the two teams in Brackley and Brixworth are so motivated. We have so much good things in the pipeline, so much new things, he said. I'm in a really good place to see what's coming together. We've got to take momentum from here and take that momentum into the factories. As we said earlier, the team principals are often the most in touch with their entire operation, and in the case of Toto Wolff, that operation spreads across 2 separate locations, each working towards independent goals, so he is in a unique position even among the principals in the paddock. When discussing his theories as to why the season went so wrong for Mercedes, as well as what he is looking for next season, Wolff continued. Let's be honest, they have the gap because they got well out of the blocks with the new regulations, and in order to catch up, that's a monumental endeavor. Hopefully they level off with their development and speed and we can catch up. Our car is a fundamental problem. It's not stable, the drivers have no confidence in the car. If we can dial that out, we can make a step forward like the other teams have done. From one principal leaving the track with optimism for the future, to one leaving the track for good, in this role at least, Franz Tost decided to leave the paddock with some choice words for his team. He didn't so much as burn bridges, as he did torch the entire village. We haven't seen a conflagration like this since Grosjean in 2020. So just what was Franz so furious about? Well, in his opinion, one that he supposedly made very clear to his team at the time, the AlphaTauri strategy team made like Ferrari and had their big red noses and face paint on this weekend. His final race of his 18-year reign at the top of the Italian Red Bull sister team ended in disappointment, with Yuki Tsunoda on track to rescue his team's season by securing a strong points finish in Abu Dhabi, one which would have moved them above Williams, and in doing so would have secured a potentially crucial $9 million more. The cause for this disappointment, according to Franz, was clear, having this to say. I'm pissed because we were too stupid to choose the correct strategy, and because I had a lot of discussions on the pit wall because I said, bring Yuki in, we're closed slowly, he told Sky Deutschland. I was told that it would work out, it's pure arithmetic. I actually realized straight away that it probably wouldn't work out. So then, just what was possible? Well, Franz believes that AlphaTauri could have matched their best result of the season with an emphatic P7 to round out the season, saying, I'll say now, a 7th place was 100% realistic for Yuki. 6th, not so much because Perez was behind us in qualifying and was simply faster in the race, so you had to take that into account that he was ahead. His final trackside interview as the team principal of the team he poured nearly 2 decades of his life into ended rather hilariously, with him taking aim and eviscerating the nerds in his team. We messed up because the technicians who sit in front of the computer for hours couldn't figure out a strategy that would ultimately work. Oh, what a Chad. A team principal who was rather more protective of his strategy team was Frederic Vasseur, with the Ferrari man claiming that leaving signs out and doing a rain dance in the hope that it will ultimately bring out the safety car was the optimum strategy. Jokes aside, Vasseur claimed that the team did their best under the circumstances presented to them, saying, "When you have to pit on lap 20, you have no other option than to put on a second set of hards. If you put on mediums, you will have to pit on lap 30. And the plan was, I don't know if it was the plan, but the option was to put hard and to expect that we would have a safety car or red flag. The issue is not that it was a matter of strategy, it was a matter of pace. We did not have the pace today, and in this case, all the strategies are the bad ones." He would then go on to say that the reasons for this were to enact an inverse strategy of the rivals ahead of them due to the disappointing starting position that Sainz was in as the lights went out in Abu Dhabi. He also insinuated that Mercedes were assisted by stewarding decisions, more precisely the Perez incident, which wound up granting Russell an all-important P3 which decided the Constructors' Championship, saying, "I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know because on my screen, I'm too focused on the dot of the car, and I didn't see why Perez got the penalty, and had to ask to put it on my screen. Toto won't complain that the stewards are too harsh." However, the race for P2 and the constructors may actually work out in Ferrari's favor. But the money! Well, you can keep your money in this case, as Ferrari may have struck a perfect balance which will give them the best possible start to next season. This is due to the fact that while Mercedes walk off with a larger slice of the prize pool, Ferrari walk away with a higher amount of ATR time. ATR, or aerodynamic testing restrictions, grants teams further down the pecking order a greater amount of aerodynamic testing time in the winter before next season. Red Bull will have the least, followed by Mercedes, which means that Ferrari will have an immediate advantage in car development compared to their closest rivals in recent years. This is especially important due to the fact that we are currently in an incredibly aero-dependent regulation era, with teams each turning up with drastically different designs last year and refining them more and more as time has gone on. While we're in no way insinuating that Ferrari would prefer finishing lower in the order than their rivals, it really won't hurt them all that much in their efforts to reduce the gap to Red Bull and create a gap to Mercedes and all the other hopefuls closing in from behind. According to Sky Deutschland commentator Sascha Roos, the extent to this extra development time could be substantial. The wind tunnel times to make the car better are of course also an incentive. Between second and third places, there are 2 more hours a week that you can put the car in the wind tunnel. You can see whether the development steps you've come up with are appropriate. However, we must all remember, this is Ferrari we're talking about here, and while they may make a rocket ship, it all counts for nothing if ground control is staffed by chimps. Thank you for watching.